Okay, here's one for you. So you know what kind of future we have in this country. Here's a guy who'll tell you about licensing. Rather interesting, huh? Because now I can't cut hair without a license, but I can pat you down and feel your daughter's genitals. And I'm not even a law enforcement officer. And what happens, get my DHS guy in here, what happens if a law enforcement officer starts fondling your daughter? Where are my attorneys? I'm sure they'll tell you. And what happened to the Fourth Amendment? Why don't you, Sharon viewers, embrace the Constitution? Why don't you embrace the Bill of Rights? Why don't those men out there stop being nuts and have some nuts and stand up and say no? I'm looking for that, but I think I just have to wait at this point.
Hold it right there.
Nobody crosses into the United States without proper screening.
That's right. All visitors must be wearing at least sunblock 45.
Correction, officer, not sun screening, racial profile screening.
Well, you're right, officer, but it's not racial profiling. We like to call it bigotry.
Ixnay on the true thing.
Right. The newly passed Homeland Security Bill requires us to conduct certain procedures on would-be visitors to the United States.
And remember, never make jokes or humorous remarks at the border. Otherwise, we may be forced to use this. Over here, buddy.
Let's get on with the questioning, officer.
Are you now, or have you ever been, a member of a visible minority?
Do you plan to visit a farm or blow up a national monument?
Have you ever eaten a falafel?
Who's a better actor, Kevin Costner or Omar Sharif?
Have you seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
I did.
Yeah, so did I. Good movie.
Have you ever heard any of the following countries?
Iran.
Iraq.
Syria.
Libya.
Sudan.
Pakistan.
Yemen.
Saudi Arabia.
Portugal.
Denmark.
Caracas.
Fu Manchu.
Canada.
You have? Well, that makes you a Category 2 visitor. We have to photograph you.
Good. Very good. Look over your shoulder. Okay, nice. Yes, not. Give me. Out more. Okay. And up the top of your shirt. Oh, that's good. That's great. Work with me, baby. Oh, perfect. Oh, this is great.
Okay, that's enough pictures. Are you bringing in any fresh fruit? Oh, thank you. Didn't have time for dinner.
All right, one more question. Do you wish to submit to the body cavity search willingly or forcibly?
Where are you going?
Want to visit the friendly United States of America?
We use gloves now.
Here's one. It's a little cute one. We're the TSA. Kind of reminds me of Lily Tomlin. She didn't care. She was the phone company. She didn't have to.
We're the Transportation Security Administration. We're working hard to ensure that you enjoy a secure flight. And while we cannot apprehend every terrorist, you can count on us to do what we are trained to do whenever there's a security breach. Overreact to tiny threats. When a man walked the wrong way through a gate at Newark Airport, we closed the terminal for 6 hours. When a passenger in Bakersfield, California packed honey in his luggage, we shut the whole airport down. And when a toddler in New Orleans tried to take a Christmas present on board, we confiscated it. Sorry, Junior, we're not taking any chances. No threat is too big for us to ignore, and no threat is too small for us to make your travel experience as miserable as possible. Overreact to small threats, ignore the big ones. That's what we do, and we do it better than anyone.
Now they show you the underwear bomber in that clip, and they make you think it's real. But you forget the underwear bomber was put on by the United States State Department. This came out in testimony. Why did the United States State Department put a guy they knew didn't have the passport, was denied the visa? Why did they want him on the plane? Why did they need this story? Why did they need naked body scanners all over? Get ready. They'll be putting them at courthouses if they haven't already. They'll be putting them at train stations. You'll have to show your naked body all the time. Here are some pictures, just so you know what the Germans did. They would strip people down before they killed them. Notice, they'd make them hold their hands up. Heck, they'd check in women's pants. You think I'm kidding. This is nothing but conditioning. And you as an American citizen has to stop thinking Republican or Democrat. You're going to start thinking American. You know, if we let all of our rights and liberties be taken away, then who did win? And if you look at this, this is a corporate takeover of our republic. This is pirates taking over our republic using what? Using the government as muscle. As the bankers loot you, they create a police state. With false terrorism, what's known as false flag. It's a military term. Means flying the flag of, you know, the other side, so that everybody gets mad at them. This terrorism, though, once again, how come, what's his name? Al-Awlaki? I should know his name. He's the #1 in Al-Qaeda now, right? Get the playing cards out. He's the #1 in Al-Qaeda. He eats at the Pentagon 2 months after 9/11. Yet he's the guy talking to the Fort Hood guy. Remember the Fort Hood shooter? Yeah, how come they grabbed everybody's cameras in that one? When I say cameras, they're cell phones with cameras and wouldn't let anybody see them. Just like they grabbed all the pictures and the film around the Pentagon on 9/11. Should I go through the list? This is just like the guy they shot on the BART platform. That's the Bay Area Rapid Transit, okay? They collected everybody's phones. Why? Because they erased them. But it was lucky somebody else was on another train, because when they saw him off the guy, yeah. Why are they telling you you can't film police, yet they're putting cameras up on your streets? They're putting cameras all over. But you can't film government, but government can film you. Hey, they can wiretap you. They can torture you. They can rendition you. Do you see the change in your government? Do you understand what's going on? I know, I'm just that crazy guy on Channel 8. Did you ever watch any of the previous shows? Was the crazy guy right? Oh, how to leave you. All right, I'm going to leave you with Stuart Rhodes. You should learn about the Oath Keepers. Here's some homework. Find out about the Oath Keepers. Sharon police officers, okay? Anybody who's, you know, once again, a police, FBI, find out about the Oath Keepers, okay? Because they'll demonize them next. You know why? Because they took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. That's why your media will demonize the Oath Keepers. That's why Department of Homeland Security will demonize the Oath Keepers. Because now they're making anybody who believes in the Constitution and was willing to fight and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign or domestic, they're now a threat. Who are they a threat to? Are they a threat to this blessed constitutional republic? Or are they a threat to the new police state, totalitarianism, where we have to feel your daughter's genitals before she gets on a plane? We have to see your daughter's naked body.
Government seizes newborn baby over political beliefs of parents. And we have the copy from the CPS. It says the division became aware and confirmed that Mr. Ayers was associated with a militia known as the Oath Keepers and had purchased several different types of weapons, including a rifle. A month and a half before she was going to have the baby, he had gone to have his wisdom teeth removed. She was driving. She has a concealed carry. They were waiting. 6 squad cars at their house. This is racketeering. They said, "Where's the gun?" And they got out because they wanted the baby. They get up to $500,000 for these kids. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed babies, top money. I mean, I've found these networks in Austin. We had that state senator on who was exposing how they have quotas to grab the kids. And, of course, they killed her execution style just a few months ago. But the issue here is they were waiting. And it was her concealed carry, and they said, "We don't care if the gun's your husband. He has an illegal concealed carry. He's going to jail." And they cited that when they took the baby and Oath Keepers. This family's under surveillance. They were picked for this. And I've seen articles where the Southern Poverty Law Center, ADL, are in the schools, law enforcement, and Stuart Rhodes linked up at Oath Keepers today. Countering Violent Extremism Working Group. They now are officially merging the Southern Poverty Law Center as the command group over the privatization of police chiefs, school teachers, you name it, as part of a huge spy network, similar to what we just saw 2 weeks ago in Pennsylvania with the illegal operations of an Israeli company through the state Homeland Security, spying on members of the legislature and others. Stuart Rhodes joining us, dealing with the kidnapping of this child. The child now a political prisoner, part of the new Red Terror in America, the founder of Oath Keepers, paratrooper, Ron Paul's assistant, Harvard or Yale, law degree. Good to have you here with us, Stuart Rhodes.
Good to be on, Alex. How you doing?
Good. You've got the floor. The secret police are now coming after our children.
Well, that's the big picture. That's why the context has to be taken into consideration in this case. It's not just an isolated case. Or put it this way: it's not what the powers that be at DHS want to be isolated. I mean, they're basically telling us they're going to infiltrate down to the very local level, and that working group's recommendations include utilizing child protective services and other social services and also mental health as part of the local effort to, quote unquote, combat violent extremism. They're going to get into the schools and teach parents and teachers how to look for signs of violent extremism in the children. It's just ridiculous. And when you have the CEO of Southern Poverty Law Center sitting on this panel and helping to point the finger at who the internal enemy is, who are they going to point it at? They've already told us. You're on the list, I'm on the list, Ron Paul's on the list, Chuck Baldwin, anybody who stands up for the Constitution is going to be fingered as mentally
anyone who isn't a lawless,
dangerous to their children.
Anyone who isn't a supporter of the lawless criminal globalist takeover.
Right. Anyone who's not just going to roll over and allow our republic to be destroyed. And that's the big picture. The narrow picture in this case itself, the reason why it's got our attention is that enumerated in the affidavit is a big laundry list of all kinds of accusations against the parents, but two of them, as you said, one of them is that the father is associated with a militia group known as the Oath Keepers.
No, this is like the MIAC. This is like the MIAC report. This is the government brainwashing police to the point that they think they're doing God's work, taking somebody's newborn baby because they call you a militia A, and it wouldn't be bad if you were, but you're not. And so it just shows total red-handed evidence of the secret police network.
Well, and they're turning things that are absolutely legal, not only legal, but part of your core right as a citizen. I mean, political speech is well established in constitutional law as the most important speech protected by the First Amendment. I mean, and there's a principle of chilling of speech. It comes whenever you have a targeting of a person, an application of the law against them toward their core political beliefs and expressions and associations. This is the big problem here. Is this is allowed to stand, and they're allowed to start using your associations, lawful assembly and lawful associations, as criteria for taking your children. Imagine the chilling effect it's going to have on parents across America. They will not want to get involved. They will not want to stand up and say,
well, that's what Hitler did. That's what Stalin and Mao did. They intimidated you that you could get arrested or have your kids taken. That's actually, I've had historians on about Mao. That was one of his tactics. They take your kids. I mean, we know this is as evil as it gets. And Stuart, I mean, it's so brazen. It's so clearly illegal, but they're doing it right out in the open.
Exactly. I mean, this is the problem we've had, as you pointed out in the past. In the first place, child protective services in this country, the threshold for taking your children is ridiculously low. You have no due process whatsoever. But now what's happening is they're politicizing that. It was already a problem. But now it's in corruption is rampant for corruption and ripe for corruption and abuse of power. But now it's being politicized, and it's going to be politicized through DHS. It's like the CEO of Southern Poverty Law Center now has his finger on the button on the control panel. He can pick anybody he wants to across the country and go after that group, go after those kinds of people, and he can just direct DHS to go direct the local CPS to go after those folks. And that's the world we're living in right now. And we have to stop it right here, because if you don't stand up right now for the one, it's going to happen to the rest of us and to the many. Now's the time to stand.
Well, Stuart, they're really mad at Oath Keepers and demonizing you on CNN, even Fox to some extent, MSNBC, because the ADL, the Southern Poverty Law Center, are private intelligence agencies on record. We know Southern Poverty Law Center was running Elohim City with McVeigh there. That came out in declassified FBI documents. Well, they were ordered by courts to be released in lawsuits by Jesse Trinidad, the lawyer. I got that done. And they are in the full process of private spies, mercenary spies, XE, Blackwater, Israeli, 14 other countries total in the NLE 09 FEMA press releases. I mean, they admit this, and they're training the Boy Scouts to take on disgruntled veterans. And they're in there right now brainwashing and taking over doctors, community people, literally creating an army of Stasi. And here are good veterans and current military and police standing up and saying, this is wrong. We're going to stand for the Republic. You know, we're going to educate military and police. And they are freaking out. They are freaking out that actual red-blooded Americans of every race, color, creed, and religion are coming together, and so they're, because they've got to be brazen and over the top with an illegal foreign intelligence takeover,